Alright, hey guys, sorry for not uploading yesterday. I was caught up in something. So, to make up for that, here is part 2 of what if female Deku was a Red Lantern. Now, I saw in the comments that one of you pointed out, sorry about that she looked like Yang from Ruby. That's sort of like the image, that's basically what the image is. I didn't really think about it when I was looking for Red Lantern pictures, so I just went with this one because it looked the most like what I was trying to go with. So, and I also saw in the vote that costume option 2 had won. I believe this is option 2. Hold on, let me double check. Alright, I was correct. This is option 2. Also, I will be talking about a future what if I might do at the end of this video. So if you guys want to know about that, watch till the end. Alright, so we open up where we last left off with Guy Gardner floating behind Izumi as she would turn around and get her ring ready, saying, "Who the hell are you?" Actually, she gets into a fighting stance as she asks, "Who the hell are you?" As he would respond with that his name is Guy Gardner and he is the current leader of the Red Lantern Corps. As she would say, "Red Lanterns? What do you mean?" With Guy Gardner saying, "Look at the emblem on my outfit, and then look at the emblem on yours." As she would look at the emblem on Guy's outfit, and then the emblem on hers, and as she'd see that they are similar. As Guy Gardner would basically explain the entire history of the Red Lanterns, about explaining everything, including the civil war that they had with Atrocitus. With him saying that both sides of the Red Lantern Corps are cool now, so they do work together as a police force for the universe. Well, more or less this sector. As Izumi would say, "Sector, what do you mean?" As Guy would explain that the Lantern Corps divide the universe up into sectors, and the sector we are in, which is, give me a minute, as he'd say that we currently police at Space Sector 2814. As Izumi would say, "So what are you going to do?" As Guy would say that I'm going to help you learn how to use your ring, and hopefully help you figure out how to change your outfit, because the whole tight clothing thing doesn't really suit me, and it probably doesn't suit you either. As Izumi would say, "Yeah, you're right." As Guy would basically put a construct bubble around her, as he'd say, "Come on, let's go." As he would fly off to the Red Lantern homeworld. I do not remember what it is called, so if you guys do know its name, do let me know. As we then get cut back to Katsuki's view, as he is saved by Pro Hero and is taken to the hospital, where he would wake up and ask, where's his mom and dad, and where's his older sister? As the heroes would say, the pro heroes would say that they're sorry, but that his parents were killed on impact by the rubble, and that his older sister was nowhere to be found. But what they did find was that the villain was killed and appeared to be split in half by something. With Bakugo being infuriated, being angry and upset by this, they'd think to himself that he's going to become a hero so he can help protect people like his older sister would have. Because Izumi did sign up to go to UA, but due to everything that happened, she couldn't go due to her quirk not being as flashy as everyone else's. Hold on, give me a minute. Sorry about that. As Guy Gardner and Izumi would arrive back on the Red Lantern homeworld, as Atrocitus, who is basically currently second in command, would ask Guy Gardner, "What are you doing with this human here?" As Guy would say, "Okay, so you know how you said you saw a new ring float out from there?" As he would point to the blood lake that is on the homeworld of the Red Lanterns, and fly off to Earth. As Atrocitus would say, "Yes, I do remember telling that to you." As Guy would say, "Well, this is the new recruit." As she would say, "Hi, my name is Izumi Bakugo from Earth." As Atrocitus would look at her, as he'd immediately say, "There's no time for introductions. You must train." With Izumi pulling up a blank face, saying, a confused face, saying, "Wait, what?" As Atrocitus would yell, "First lesson!" as he'd fling Izumi into the ground. As he would say, "Never let your guard down." With Guy saying, "Hey, go easy on her. She just got here. She doesn't even know how to use a ring yet." With Atrocitus saying, "Fine. She can come to me for combat training once she's done with practicing with her ring." With Guy walking up to Izumi and helping her up, as Izumi would say, "Who the hell is that?" As Guy would say, "Oh, he's Atrocitus. He was the original leader of the Red Lanterns. He's currently second in command now." With Izumi basically cracking her neck from that, as she'd say, "He hits hard." As Guy would say, "Well, that's what you get. That's what happens when you have a lot of rage built up." Alright, so first, we should probably try and get you changed out of that. So your ring is made from uses your concentration. So you'll have to concentrate in order to use your ring properly. So at this point, she doesn't have her construct arm activated right now, as he would say, "Try and focus on making another arm for you." Or try some, actually no, hold on. Try making something simple, like a cube. As Guy would say, "Picture in your head, and then the ring will make it for you." With Izumi focusing on it, as she would create a cube, but it sort of be distorted a bit, as the Guy would say, "You're not focusing enough, keep going." As eventually, after a couple of hours, it would become a perfect cube. This Guy would say, "Wow, you're learning pretty fast. It took me a couple days in order to get that down." As Guy would say, "Okay, now let's try and change your outfit a bit. Focus." And they'd say, "And remember to focus." With Izumi focusing, as she would change her outfit from this to this. As Guy would say, "That is quite impressive. Okay, now let's try and get your arm back." As she would focus as well, as she'd get a construct arm. As Guy would be impressed with how fast she's learning, with Guy saying that it actually took him a couple of years to be at the level she is. Now, let's keep doing this. As they would be training for the next 5 years, because I think I said Bakugo was 10 at this point. and Izumi was 16. So 5 years passed, and Izumi is currently 21 years old, and she is currently training with Atrocitus with construct blades. As Izumi is currently on the back foot, as Atrocitus would be yelling at her to use her rage, use it to fuel her. Think back to the moment that angered you the most and let it all out. With Izumi thinking back to the day that her parents were killed and she thought that she lost Bakugo, with all that rage basically coming out as the blade would basically gain more power, as Izumi would spray her napalm vomit onto Atrocitus' face, trip him up, and then have the blade pointed to his neck as she would yell, "Do you yield?" With Atrocitus laying his head back onto the ground as he would say that he yields. As Izumi would begin to calm down, as she would cause the blade to dissipate, as she would reach her hand out to Atrocitus, as she would help him up. As Atrocitus would thank, Izumi would thank Atrocitus for the training and for the helpful tip. With Guy Gardner is currently out on patrol right now. He's currently patrolling Earth right now. As he does notice something. He notices he does notice a power goes out in a certain area in Japan as he'd fly over there, and see that as he would see through a hole in what is the USJ, that there are multiple villains that are attacking a bunch of kids. With Guy saying, pulling up his ring as he would report this to the Red Lantern Corps, saying that there are a bunch of villains attacking some hero students. As Izumi's rage would begin to bubble to the surface, as she would think to herself, "Do these villains know no lows?" As she would immediately say to Atrocitus that she'll go to Earth with Guy, and she'll go to Earth and handle this. As Atrocitus would say, "Are you sure you're ready?" With Izumi saying, "Sure? I am more than sure. I am furious." With Atrocitus saying, "Then your training is complete. You may go." As she would immediately blitz speed right off. As this is something I'm sort of taking from the Injustice 2 comics. As her rage would bubble to the surface, she goes faster and faster till she's at the point where she's at the speed of light. As she would make it to Earth and crash into the center, as she would crash through the ceiling and land in the center of the USJ. As she would stand up and look to the villains with her ring raised. As she would begin to say the oath. "With blood and rage of crimson red, we fill man's souls with darkest dread." Hold on, give me a minute. I forgot the oath, give me a minute. Okay, got it. Scratch the last bit. She would say the oath. "With blood and rage of crimson red, ripped from a corpse so freshly dead, together with our hellish hate, we'll burn you all as a ring begins to glow. This is your fate." And that is where I'm going to end this part off. I do hope you guys enjoyed this. And for those of you who've made it to the end of the video, I'd like to just talk to you guys about something. So, this has been in the back of my head for a while. I have been planning to do a Demon Queen deku, and I do have the image do have the image for it. So I will show you guys the image, and you guys get to say on whether I should do it or I shouldn't. So I'll pause it and then get the image. Alright, so this is the image that I'll use for it if you guys say yes to it. So would you guys like to see my spin on a Demon Queen what if, or would you like me to keep this in the dark? Do let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next time.